So the whole Cryptozoo thing with so let's just tell the audience. So there's been a lot of drama in the last couple of days between Coffeezilla, who's really blown up recently, especially due to his FTX coverage and how he went after Sam Bankman-Fried. And he now came out saying that he's been researching for a long time Logan Paul's collection, Cryptozoo, and he came up with pretty damning findings. I mean, I'm not going to run through it all here. You're welcome to look him up and watch it. Here it is, investigating Logan Paul's biggest scam. Logan Paul was really quiet for about 2 weeks. There was no response. And then Logan Paul came out with a response to it. He really just attacked Coffeezilla. He didn't really, touch on the allegations. However, he did say that one of the people that worked for game development on the project for him ended up stealing $1 million from him. But he didn't really do much to reassure the Cryptozoo community, and he really was just more on the defensive, which I personally thought was a very immature way to respond to this, and just try to break down Coffeezilla. But Kate, I know you really big on this sort of stuff, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Bro, Logan Paul dug himself into the worst grave he's dug himself in yet. He is notorious for posting terrible response videos to allegations against him, and this has been just another card to the stack. He is so bad at responding to when someone attacks him because he's. I love Logan Paul. Like I don't love Logan Paul. I really look up to him in the sense that he's definitely a pioneer for doing things that are impossible and just somehow getting it done. And I look up to him in that way because it's crazy how he accomplishes certain things. But he's so far in that hole that he literally can't remember what it's like to not be him in his position at A-level status of celebrity. And when he talks sometimes, I'm like, bro, do you hear what is coming out of your mouth? Because I know you don't feel like, I know when he says something like the way he responded, essentially for people who haven't seen his response, he's basically saying like, none of this was my fault. I hired a team. The team fucked everything and everyone they hired was a scammer, which is like, okay, that probably is what happened. But you can't say it like that on a response because all it sounds like is I'm not claiming any accountability. My team did it all. Someone else. And it's like, look, that probably did happen. Like I believe him. I think that probably did. He probably did hire someone who hired someone else who was a sketchy guy because it seems like they hired some people who have been known to be scammers. So like that happened. I also know based on like proof on the blockchain, they didn't make any money off this collection. They didn't sell any of their tokens. So we know that they didn't take any money from the project. All we know is they hired a bunch of scammers. And in this video, all he says is, it's not my fault. I hired the scammers. It's their fault. I also got screwed, which probably happens. But you can't say it like that. And you can't come in with this like really like I'm better than you attitude, but like
no defensive attitude.
The way he said it was so poorly executed, and I know I just couldn't believe it, dude.
Just the fact that someone scammed you doesn't give you a right to walk away from it, especially when you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and it doesn't bury you to lose $1 million. Number one.
So it's a legal thing. I
hear that it's a free mint. I hear you say that, but people bought on the secondary for real money. So people have been hurting it. Just explain to me what you mean. It's a legal thing.
So the reason, well, okay, this is alleged too, but we don't know why he went silent for a year. We can speculate and be like, because the project shat itself and nothing ever came from it because the developer ran away. So it's like he drops this project. He says, okay, team, manager Jeff, I want to do this. Put people in charge of it and go make it happen. I'll be the marketer guy. That's typically the stance that Logan takes when he does new ventures. Like for people who don't know, he also is the founder of Prime Energy, or not, sorry, Prime Hydration, the beverage drink thing that's going to rival Gatorade that he wants to do with KSI. People found out he's not actually the founder. He's just one of the people who owns part of the company. But he's not running the company. Someone else is running the company. He's just the face of it, right? So it's the same thing with this Cryptozoo. He's not actually doing much. He's just there in charge of it. And because of that, well, I understand that. But when the developer ran away and the legal things came out, because that's when they were like, oh, fuck, we just got scammed. This guy ran away. And the reason you stepped away, allegedly, is that they were like, look, we literally can't talk about this because we're suing him. and you can't talk about an ongoing investigation.
Okay,
But because
then
they didn't do that, now all these people get scammed. So I think it's a lose-lose situation for
hire a
everybody.
new team, hire a new developer, and still deliver on what you promised. Am I right in saying this is his second NFT collection? Wasn't there the first one where there was huge drama, where he did all those photographs?
People love that one. That one went down very well.
No, there was also drama with.
Oh,
was
the
that
first one, the very
after
first one he dropped. No, the very first one he dropped
Yes.
was a bunch of Pokemon cards, basically with his face on it. That was terrible. But that was also like
Yeah.
the first month of NFTs, so I feel like people were like,
okay, and then after that he did the photo one, which he spoke
he
about
did
as being he's
Cryptozoo.
going to do it properly.
He did
and
Cryptozoo, and then he did 99. Cryptozoo has
okay.
been a long time, and it's been sitting there doing nothing
Okay.
for a long time. And I agree, he should have. I feel like there's a reason they didn't do something. Like, I know they walked away from the project and never mentioned it again. I'm thinking part of it, like, there's basically two angles. Either they walked away from the project and said, okay, hopefully people just forget about this shit. And then Coffeezilla drops this thing and now they have to do it. Or they said, okay, we are still in an investigation. We're not allowed to hire someone and continue the project until this is done. It's one of two things.
No,
I
that's
am
not how it
pushed
works.
to
You
believe
can
that Coffeezilla is the reason that they're talking about it and they're back into the project.
Yeah.
Because now he's back in Discord saying, what's up?
You know what just strikes me? Just one thing. Hypothetically, if I was worth hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, and it's a very big hypothetical, surely, and I was a public personality, surely reputation is more important than anything else. So I would personally, if I was worth what he was worth and I'm in the hole for $1 million, I would personally make good on anyone who bought on the secondary. Personally, each and everyone. Everyone who bought gets a refund. It's going to cost me $500,000. It's going to cost me $1 million, because reputation means more to me than $1 million. And we saw that with Kim. If I was worth that amount of money, we saw that with Kim Kardashian. There was all this stuff about the coin that she promoted and whatever, and she just wanted it to go away. Here's $1 million, fine, whatever, leave me alone, right? In a way, you got to protect your reputation. When you're worth, let's just say $100 million, it's a lot more than that. $1 million is not worth losing your $100 million personality over. And I know he hasn't, and I know that there's still fans and a lot, and he gets a lot of views. All I'm saying is that I'm surprised that he never made good on it when you've got so much. And then something like this wouldn't have been able to hurt him, because this does do damage to his reputation.
Yeah, especially because Coffeezilla made such a public statement about it. Yeah, dude. I mean, Logan Paul said like 2 years ago he got interested in money, and he said it on a podcast. And I remember when he said that, because he was on a roll. And I remember the moment he said that, my heart sank a little bit, because I was like, I kind of know what that means. Like, when you say you're going to focus on money more, that's fine. You're going to make more money. You can do more business ventures. But I knew that his quality of reputation would take a hit, because it's like inevitable. If you start focusing on the money side, your reputation takes a little bit of a hit. Like, in the same way that my business has hurt my reputation a little bit, but it's also helped, there's certain ways it hurts it. Like, some people look at my channel and they're like, I can't believe Kate does these commissioned brutally honest reviews. It devalues his reviews or whatever. And then some people are like, no, it's good. He's getting paid for it. He's showing people how to audit projects, blah, blah, blah. People get these full in-depth reviews. In my head, there's way more net positive because I do tons of reviews, not just commission ones. But people will have different opinions on that.
That's an honest day's work.
Logan Paul should have done a lot better.
That's an honest day work. Here you've got someone with hundreds of millions of dollars.
This is bad.
Where there's no defense to say the person I hired let me down, so therefore I'm letting you down, right? I mean, I've had times in my career where we've ordered stock from a supplier, the supplier's gone insolvent, we had paid them a deposit, we never get the stock. I've never picked up the phone to a customer and say, I got scammed, so in the end of the day, you're not getting your stock. Never. I've paid them back, or I've delivered on what we said through another supplier or something like that. And I'm not, 100 million, 200 million, and I don't, and dollars net worth, and I don't have a public persona from that side, the Perkel side, my business side has got nothing to do with this. But yet, my little reputation in the market that I'm in means more to me than any amount of money that I lost because of circumstance of trusting the wrong person or whatever, the wrong company or whatever. So this just shocks me that he didn't
they made a
just make good on
response.
it.
Logan finally responded on the full podcast, and George, who's one of the co-hosts, pushed him a little bit and was like, okay, like, let me ask some hard questions here. And he did a great job there. And what was interesting is that George is he's known for being, he's like very religious. He's known for being super honest, upfront, whatever. So he said something which is interesting. He was like, Logan, I've known you for like 12 years. He's like, you're one of my best friends. I know you're not a scammer. I know you're a good person. I know that, like, you know, stuff like that. And I remember when he said that because I think we talked about this on an episode of this maybe a couple months ago, honestly, where I was struggling with like the morality of business things. Remember, I did that review for the project, and then they said don't do so I get when George is like, you're a good person, this was a mistake kind of thing. But then I'm like, the line is different. Like, I do believe that Logan believes he's a good person deep down, and I believe that he wants to do good. But I also believe that doesn't mean that, like, the only thing that matters at the end of the day is what you actually did. Like, it truly is. Even if Logan truly believes that he's a good person, if you did do the thing, you're still a piece of shit. Even if you think, and even if you know you're a good person,
you can make mistakes. We all make mistakes as we learn, and we're all learning and growing our whole lives. But you have opportunities to make good on those mistakes. And here's someone with more than enough. He can still do it now, I'm saying.
I know.
Why?
I know. That's the worst part. He needs to do something really, really good here, and he's not going to
look in the mirror. Just look in the mirror and say, yeah, the response should be, you know what? We got scammed. That's got nothing to do with the holders. We realize people have been hurt by this, and we're making good. We're refunding everyone. Whatever it is, $200,000. That's how life is. Yes, you can make mistakes. You can hire the wrong people. You can even make mistakes where you, by mistake, rob a bank. Yes, you did it on purpose, but when you look back, you feel sorry, and you really have changed, and you can go back to the bank and say, here's the $1 million or whatever. You can make good in life, and especially when you have unlimited resources. So I don't understand why he hasn't, and why it doesn't seem like he's going to. Sort of like, yeah, screw you guys.
Sorry,
I'm keeping the proceeds. No, that's it. I mean, that's not the.
Dude, I don't know, man. I think when you're at that level, bro, I just think that there are some losses that he's like willing to take. There's no way he's going to refund these people, bro, because he knows he'll be fine. Because like when you look at your career in decades, like I think he does, you just know that even these kind of things are really bad, but they're just going to blow over in 10 years. Like it's just not going to even be a blip.
In decades, you realize that reputation means more than anything and comes back to bite you. And if you're clever, you keep it as clean as you possibly can. And when you fuck up, you admit it and you make good on it. It just comes back. You just see the circle of it. You know, it's almost like even at school, you dated a few girls. Or let me talk about me. I dated a couple of girls at school, like we all do. Right? Then it ends up that I got married to someone completely different, and these girls got married to people completely different. We're all happy, all got kids. And you go there, and 3 of them are in your child's class, ex-girlfriends with their kids, and you're like, just thank God I didn't do wrong by any of that. Things come around. things come full circle. It's a tiny example. Really I'm just saying, like in life. Whereas and that brings us, bro, so nicely, and this wasn't planned. I mean,
oh my God.
Talk